Shall we move on?
Let's do it.
Hey, verse 8. Back to the poem. A fifth land is Gladsheim, where gold bright wide Valhalla stands. That is where Odin chooses from the men killed by weapons every day.
So here we go. Valhalla. I think if people are going to know one place from Norse mythology, it's probably going to be Valhalla. Maybe Asgard, but Valhalla, most likely. So first of all, Gladsheim, bright home is what that literally translates to. And we're going to see a theme here of these houses being named bright. And I think that has something to do with the brightness is sort of something great. It's something shining. It's something that is brilliant. You're in awe of it when you see it. And I think it implies something like an ideal. Like these places have something ideal about them. They have something great about them. And so literally naming them bright or some kind of other word that relates to that, I think that's the theme that they're getting at here, that these are great, fantastic places to be. And that's where Valhalla is. And Valhalla certainly has its own characteristics that are interesting in and of themselves, but I just like that that Gladsheim is this bright place. That's where it actually is.
Definitely. And I just think of all the good things in life that are bright. So you've got the sun, you've got gold, and the more pure the gold is, the brighter it is. Even I don't know if they would have been using iron or if at the time, but certainly like bronze and things like that. The brighter they are, the stronger they are, because you've hammered out the impurities. So everything bright is good. And so you have Valhalla standing in this amazing bright place. I think it sounds about right for a destination for when you die in battle.
Exactly.
Shall we get a little deeper into Valhalla?
Let's do it.
Verse 9, I'll be doing 2, verse 9 and 10. So back to the poem. Valhalla is easily recognized if one comes to see it. The hall is held up by spear shafts. It is roofed by shields. Chainmail is on the benches. Valhalla is easily recognized if one comes to see it. A wolf hangs above the western door and an eagle above him.
So some pretty cool details here. Again, this is, I think we already know from the previous stanza, this is where Odin chooses from the men killed by weapons every day, right? So it's where the people who die go, some of them. But then the details here, so I mean, its purpose is very clear. The hall is held up by spear shafts, roofed by shields, chainmail is on the benches. I mean, like that's, the purpose of it is very clear. It's a place for war, a place for warriors. It's certainly not a place for people who aren't actively engaging in warfare. And so it's, I mean, I think you can compare it to like a military barracks or something like that, as far as probably its feel. Like folks on the Jocko podcast, as an example, who are military veterans, they'll talk about going to places where the Navy SEALs train and they live and they work out of, and they just say they get a sense of awe out of it. This is the place where Navy SEALs train, something like that. And for people who know what that's about, like that's a big deal. And I think that's something similar here. Like its purpose is very, very clear here based on what it's made out of, right?
Absolutely. There's no two ways about it. It's made out of spears and shields and chainmail. It's as clear as you can get. And they even say it's easily recognized. Like there's no real interpretation to be done here. It's for war and fighting. In verse 10, when they talk about the wolf hanging above the western door and the eagle above him, I thought about that for a while, and I think Valhalla it's a place of competition. They're fighting every day, and they die, and then they're resurrected and eat pork and drink mead, and then fight again and die again, and it goes on and on and on. And I think with the wolf, you have this representation of, and it doesn't say if it's like a wolf skin or anything, or just sort of a representation of a wolf. And I'm going to take it as, actually, I think this would work for either one, but in some ways they're learning how to become the best wolf they can. And wolves, they hunt in packs, they're very effective at it. And we've talked about this before, how they were seen as sort of raiders and marauders and outside of civilization. They were what you were protecting yourself against when you had settled and you were in a tribe, in a town or whatever. And if you want to be a good warrior, but also I think just a functional adult, you have to be able to be a wolf sometimes. And then with the eagle above it, it's kind of like saying you need to be the best wolf, because the eagle is a symbol of victory, and it would eat the losers of the battle. So you don't want to be the one being eaten by the eagle. You want to see it, and so you have this. You're training to be the best wolf that you can be in Valhalla.
Yeah, these symbols here, the wolf, the eagle, they're big symbols that we've seen a lot of times, and just that concept of natural ferocity. I think that's what I've gotten to as really being what the wolf really symbolizes, is that natural ferocity. I mean, Odin has wolves as pets essentially. We'll get into that a little more in a bit here, but and then he also dies by the hand of the wolf, and so that's that natural carnivorous ferocity coming and overtaking the god of culture essentially, right? And then the eagle, the symbol of the sky, in various cultures, the eagle is something like the seeing eye, the creature that can see everything, and it's at the top of its own dominance hierarchy. Essentially, there aren't really predators for the eagle. It's at the top, and I mean that's, I think, why the symbol is used. And you're right, like it comes down to symbols of victory, of courage, of strength, and the eagle is a great symbol, and it's used in so many places. And the combination of them here, yeah, it's telling that this is what you're going for. I really think the eagle is a shorthand for their concept of aiming high. I think that's what the eagle symbolizes for them. So
I was actually just about to say that if you hadn't. So exactly, it's them aiming high, because it's not good enough just to be a wolf, because then you're a predator in your own civilization, your own society. But having the eagle there as the goal, you're directed properly and directing that wolfish nature properly.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the idea of directing that's fantastic. In a little bit later we'll talk about Odin's wolves, and I'll want to get into more of that. But yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, Valhalla, man. Like some cool things about Valhalla. We're not done with Valhalla.
No, we're not.
Not even in this episode. We won't even be done. So lots in this whole poem that's about Valhalla in particular. So